The underdogs remain atop the Premier League. Leicester continued their Cinderella story, but with a great victory at the weekend, a 1-0 victory over Crystal Palace, who came inches away from grabbing a point. But Leicester City remain resilient atop the Premier League, and another team that are really close behind them with a very convincing win is Tottenham. And the reason why I talk about Tottenham, Jason has to be given some credit at the start of the season, ready to cash out on his Harry Kane top goal scorer bet.
Not ready yet, but considering we just did our March Madness clip, I know you can check that one out, and my wallet took a beating. Harry Kane is like my hedge, and if you asked me 4 years ago, you might win money on Harry Kane leading the Premier League in goal scoring, I probably would have looked at you and said, what college football team is that?
Who's Harry Kane? Instead of Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. No, he's got 21 goals, which is great. By the way, this Premier League season has been there's been a lot of goal scorers who are likely going to break the 20-goal point. Leicester, probably Vardy and Mahrez. Harry Kane. Payet, I know, is not at that point, but not too far. And Romelu Lukaku. And the guy for Watford, who's awesome.
Igalo.
Thank you. That's my piece.
The main reason we want to talk about this, right, of course, is the upset as well, which we'll get onto. Well, not the upset, but the derby performance in which Di Michaelis has wrote his name in history for the worst performance in history. It was so bad. We'll throw up some tweets of Di Michaelis and what Manchester City fans thought about him. The best one is, you ever see the video of the kid running towards leaves? And he's like running towards a pile of leaves and jumping in, and his dog just takes him out. It's like Manchester City heading towards success, and then Di Michaelis fucking takes him out.
Reminds me of the Falcao meme.
Yes.
But
he just tries
to kick the ball and he can't.
Amazing. Memes sum up the reaction, but he was diabolical. Marcus Rashford, a bare teenager, a boy in comparison to Di Michaelis, just ripped him to shreds. Should have had a penalty as well. But to get back to Harry Kane, surely this is Harry Kane established himself as the #1 choice for striker up top for England, right? We're getting close to the Euros now. Season's coming towards an end. And I'm actually excited to see who England play up top, because they have these options for once. Now they have youth, which is hopefully going to prevail for England fans, by the way, because I don't care. I don't buy into the stereotype of I hate England. I mean, I just don't like the English media. But nonetheless, it's surely at the point where you just have to prevail with hope over this expectation of your best players continue to do this delivering, because they haven't delivered in any major tournament. None of the Carricks, the Lampards, the Gerrards, the Rooneys have delivered. So it's time to bring in the new generation, the Dele Allis, the Dyers, the Vardys, and the Harry Kanes. And maybe, this is a big question, Marcus Rashford.
He's so young.
I know.
He is so unproven.
And by the way, Rio Ferdinand, you sent out the worst possible tweet ever in terms of the reaction that you could gain. You sent out a tweet saying, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And someone responded, that's what Adam Johnson said.
That's what John Terry says. That's terrible.
Shocking people.
That's such a
shocking people. But you're asking for it, Rio. But yeah, so the point, you make a good point. He's very young. It's very reminiscent of Theo Walcott.
The only thing I would say in Rashford's favor and for England, I mean, it's not like they've been able to succeed in the last, I think you said, couple
4
decades.
5. I don't know how long it's been in major tournaments. The last one was
I would say the main point is that he's 17 years old, right? 18 years old, which means I think you want to start getting these guys the experience early, the international experience early. So yeah, maybe he's unproven now, but if you get him some experience at that level, at 18, who knows what it'll be like at 22? Or I should take that back, 20 for the World Cup, 22 for the next Euros, 24. I mean, I can't imagine the more you play, the less you'll exceed, the less you'll grow and become better.
There's this weird assumption out there, right, and it comes to international football, that they have to be ready. They have to be ready to world football, because there's the big bad world out there. Big bad international football. You're going to be.
It's like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you're going to come under. It's like, Carl on The Walking Dead sees his mum die whilst giving birth, but then Rick tries to protect him. Well, Carl can't see that. Fuck
England
off,
is The Walking Dead. They got a bunch of zombies walking around the pitch right now, and you can't go out there, Marcus. You can't do it.
Bad world. So he's the youngest player to ever score in a Manchester derby, right? A very tough team coming up against, right? Manchester City are in free fall, playing very bad at the moment. But yes, there is going to be better quality players in the Euros. But if England were Germany at the moment, or France even, or even Brazil, after, and not talking about the Euros, but in the other states, I'd be like, maybe, because he's still trying to break into that team. England are shite, lads. I'm sorry. But yes, they did well to qualify, but they have not proven themselves in major competitions. And that's not my Scottishness coming out. That's my realistic point of view. And people need to realise it. Don't be talking about how Wayne Rooney should be starting because he's got the experience and Vardy and Harry Kane should be used sparingly. They're the better players. If you're sticking... No other player, it's not like Wayne Rooney's playing in the Bundesliga or in La Liga and he's proven himself to be the best in those divisions. He plays in the same Premier League, the Premier League that you're saying, oh, Vardy's just proven himself in the Premier League. Well, where has Rooney been playing in the last year? He's not proven himself as if he's this international superstar anymore. It's not the same as before when Wayne Rooney would perform week in, week out and then go and play well against the likes of Barcelona and everyone else. It has to be Vardy. It has to be Harry Kane if England want to succeed in this and you play your youth. And I would, if Roy Hodgson said, all right, I'm going to take Marcus Rashford up there instead of someone else who's in that position, I don't think anyone should question it because the youth doesn't matter. I think he should be used sparingly in a club level as well. Like, don't play him every single game, but that's not what he's going to be there for England. He's going to come off the bench. He's going to come off in times of need when you're up against a tough European opponent and he can come on. He's got that maturity about his game, but he's also got just sheer raw talent and speed, which you need at this level. So I think I would kick out some of the,
change is good.
Change is good. Change is needed for England.
The old guard has to move on and always make room for the new guard, and nothing lasts forever. And in England's sake, like we just mentioned, they haven't won much in the last few years or a few decades, and I don't say that rudely. The U.S. hasn't won anything ever, so I understand where you stand. But if the U.S. had even close to the talent that England has, I'd be a lot more excited, and I would say the same thing. We want Julian Green. It's the same thing. We want him playing on our international team because he's youthful and he's showing promise. And exactly, look what happened
against Belgium. He stopped that lease of life.
Exactly. So for England, I wouldn't hold on. Look, it's not like Rooney's not going to be on the team.
Yeah.
He'll get 20 minutes of Rooney.
You get 20 minutes of Rooney.
You'll get him. Come on.
So did the hookers.
Right, the hookers will get 20. John Terry will get 20 minutes of it too. But he comes in the 75th minute. It's nice. It's everyone claps him on and then claps him off. But you gotta look to the future to start winning.
Yeah.
And look, I would put if it were me, if I were coach, which would be a terrible idea, or manager. Don't let me do that. But if you do trust in Jason, come and I will manage your team. I'd put Harry Kane up top. I think I love Vardy. I think he's blindingly fast, but I think you can actually experiment with putting him maybe on the wing.
I could think you could. Yeah, that's a good point. I think, or you could just experiment of just
Kane's
not being the same as everyone.
Kane's a big dude.
Yeah, you don't need to go with the 4-2-3-1, which every single team and their granny likes to go with. Maybe go with the 4-4-2 and try Harry Kane with Jamie Vardy, because Harry Kane is a versatile striker. He makes those runs in behind, but he can also hold the ball up because he's a bigger guy. He uses his body well. And Vardy, you see him a lot more for Leicester, playing in wider areas and coming directly across the line of fire to cause even more problems, which leaves room for Mahrez. For me, I always said this. If I was to get a job as a manager, I would love to manage England because you just get... The youth is there now. So my team, which I'm going to say, if Joe Hart's injured, by the way, we don't know what's going to happen. Fraser Forster's a good goalie. I'm going Klein, Bertrand, Stones, Cahill. If it is the 4-2-3-1 or everyone likes to go, I'm going Drinkwater.
Wow.
I'm going Dyer.
That's a really funny pairing of names.
I'm going Dele Alli. Maybe Vardy is a kind of just behind Harry Kane, or if not, maybe Barkley in there. Harry Kane definitely up top, and Sterling if he's fit. If Sterling's not fit, maybe Oxlade. I don't know. Just someone. I don't see the point in still going with Theo Walcott. Like it comes to the point that he's another one of those names where he was the example of rushing someone to a tournament too early because he hadn't been at that level. But I'm talking about then you've got on the bench the likes of Rashford, the likes of Sturridge, who is fit and should be performing. England have options now. They have youthful options which they should use.
You manage England. I'm going to take over Argentina just so I can make Otamendi run sprints for the next 20 years.
Well, he won't be doing much. He's he joins the injury list. So
comment.
I want them to comment. Let us know what you think. Should Rashford be taken or given the opportunity to play? The international break is upon us soon. So
it is coming, yeah.
Drinkwater was called up, which was a good sign for me. Happy to see that he...
Favorite name.
Yeah, I love Drinkwater. But let us know what you think. England fans out there, would you like to see someone like Rashford? Who do you think your front three or front two or front one should be when it comes to the Euros? Make sure to hit us in the comment section below. Another up and down weekend. Congrats to Arsenal. Give you some praise in there. Good win over Everton, who are arguably the worst team at home in the league. And hit me in the comment section.